Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. As you'll probably notice, my fly tying, I get a little bit bored quite easily, so I've generally got several different boxes on the go. So I thought I'd share with you today a pattern for grayling fishing. So winter grayling boxes are made in the summer. Well, mine certainly are. So in the vise, I've got a Hanak H450 barbless hook in size 10. It's a Jig Superb. And the thread I'm going to be using today, or one of the threads I'm going to be using today, is the UTC 140, and it's in black. First thing to do is add a little bit of wax to the thread, just to give you a bit of grip. I'm going to catch in my thread initially directly behind the bead. Build up a little bit of thread, or our on ramp as I've mentioned in the past videos, just to hold the bead into place, like so. Bring your thread towards the back at the bend and you can snip that away. Okay, I've got a partridge cape here. It's looking a little bit worse for wear, but I've taken a couple of feathers from this, and first thing I'm going to do is rip off some fibres from this stalk to create my tail. I'm going to just marry that up. Not overly worried about the tips lining up or anything like that. It's going to be quite a scruffy fly, this. Then I'm going to catch that in, bringing my thread all the way to where the barb on a hook would be normally. Okay, so I've got my tail in. What I want to do next is add my other thread onto this. Now this is the Vivus 50D, it's a white thread, and what I'm going to do is just wax up the end of this off camera, and I'm going to get a little bit of wax on my UTC thread, and I want to catch the tip of this thread in. It is quite slippy. I just want that to disappear into the body. And I'll bring that right back to the tail. Now I've got a little knob on my vise at the back end here, so I can just leave that be now. So what I've done is locked in another thread, which I'm going to use shortly. Next I'm going to add in some of this Vivus Pearl. I'll just take a length of that. It's got quite a nice luminance to it. Like so. And then again, while I've got the nice UTC, nice and thick thread, I'm going to work on my taper a little bit, so please bear with me while I get these wraps in. That'll do. And then before I bring that up, just as a belt and braces, add a few spots of super glue to the shank over my threads. And again, this is just all about getting value for money out your fly. So add the addition of the super glue, it just beds everything in so that it's going nowhere. Well, actually, it's usually on the bottom of a river stuck in a log, but it is a really big fly, this, and with the tungsten bead that I've got on. It's a bit of a beast. This is the Hanak. It's a 4.6mm bead, so quite a lot of weight in that. And I know I did promise to do a video about weighting flies, and that'll be in the post soon, I suppose. So next then, I'm going to cast off my black thread with a couple of half hitches, like so, and I can cut that away. Okay, the next bit, I'm going to take my my Vivas, and I'm going to just turn it counterclockwise so I can split the thread. Next thing, I'm going to add some dubbing. This is hair dubbing. It's brown Pardo thread, and I'm just going to take a pinch of that out of the packet. It's quite a spiky dubbing, which is ideal for this fly. And I'm going to add that to my dubbing clip. So I've got that in place. Hopefully this will behave for me. Needle in behind and just create a little dubbing loop. Slip in my clip. Then I can twist this up. Like so. Once I'm content that that's twisted enough, I can then come in, remove any of the excessively long fibres, and just while it's spinning, I'm going to add a little layer of UV resin to my pearl rib, and that's liquidy enough that it will envelop all the way around the body of the fly, and I'll just encourage it with my needle so that I'm getting not a massive amount of coverage but enough. Then with this I can bring it up, and what I'm doing is I'm just creating a rib, if you like, with open turns coming through the UV resin up to the base of my bead. Now once I've done that, I can simply come in with my UV torch and cure the whole thing. So once the fly's in use, your rib won't be sliding up and down that pearl lurex. Okay, so happy enough with that. Okay, next I've got another feather here from my English partridge cape, and what I'm going to do is catch in my hackle pliers just at the tip, like so, and then take a little bit of time just to expose the thread. So I've got it like this now. Now it's very delicate at the tip here, so when I catch it in, I'm going to do it gently initially, then using my stalk as a handle, I'm just going to gently bring it round one turn. Once I've done that, I can come back over, catching in the stalk, and it looks like a hot mess at the moment. Once I've done that, everything back, two or three wraps in, then I can get a hold of my stalk and just rip that away. And if you've secured it in properly with your thread, that'll be no bother. Next, a little bit more of a dubbing. Catch that on. Nice and thick. Pull your hackle to the rear and then bring your dubbing in over the top like so. Then you can finish this with a little bit of super glue or a little bit of UV resin. I'll just use the super glue on this occasion. So that comes in. Once you've captured that, you can get your whip finish tool out if you're that way inclined, or a couple of half hitches. And to finish off, you can titivate up the fly with your dubbing brush. Now what this is it, for me, this it's got that buggy impression, but it's got a little bit of glister in it as well, which Grayling find irresistible, as well as the pink bead. And it is a bit of a beast, the old pink bead. 4.6 is probably the biggest bead I use. You can get them bigger, but for fishing purposes and flies that will not only give you the depth you're after, you can still quite easily catch fish on this fly. So you're not just using it as a sacrificial weight fly, as a fish taker. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Tight lines. With a couple of turns. Get away, rid of my waist. Then I've got my little handle piece here, and all I need to do is get, oh, that didn't work out so well.